What are your goals when it comes to improving your sleep? If there's something along the lines of, I want to get 8 hours of sleep, fall asleep within 10 minutes of getting into bed, and sleep right through the night, then that may not be an appropriate goal because that would be quite unusual. And in today's video, I want to talk a little bit more about this and what is actually considered normal sleep. Hi, I'm Martin Reed. If you have insomnia, I offer sleep coaching programs that will give you all the skills and support you need to enjoy better sleep for the rest of your life. You can learn more at insomniacoach.com. Now, if you've been living with chronic insomnia for any period of time, it's quite likely that you've developed some inappropriate beliefs about sleep. So these are often perpetuated by the media and articles that we read online and in the printed press. Things that tell us about the importance of getting 8 hours of sleep, about how important it is that we fall asleep and that we sleep through the night. Well, unfortunately, normal sleep doesn't work this way. Very few of us actually need 8 hours of sleep, for example. Most of us tend to average, when we don't have insomnia, we tend to average somewhere closer to 6 or 7 hours of sleep. 8 hours of sleep is actually quite unusual. But with that being said, we do all have a unique individual sleep requirement. So if sleep duration is your goal when it comes to improving your sleep, it may be better to reframe this and just make improved sleep quality your goal, because sleep duration is something we cannot actually control. The body will decide how much sleep it's going to give us from night to night. We can certainly set the stage for sleep and give sleep the best chance possible, but we can't actually control how long we're going to be sleeping for. It's also really important to bear in mind that it's quite normal for it to take up to around half an hour to fall asleep at the start of the night. If someone falls asleep within, say, 10 minutes, that would be quite unusual and would typically be a symptom of excessive sleepiness. And the average sleeper will probably fall asleep once they get into bed between 10 minutes and half an hour. So it's important too to recognize that it takes time to fall asleep. So don't put any pressure on yourself to fall asleep within a certain amount of time when you get into bed. It's also important to recognize that it's completely normal to wake during the night. All of us wake during the night. The only difference between people with insomnia and people without insomnia is people with insomnia are far more likely to worry about that awakening. And as soon as we worry when we wake during the night, we make sleep more difficult, so it becomes harder to fall back to sleep. Someone who doesn't really think about sleep will wake during the night, pay absolutely no attention to it, so they'll fall right back to sleep, and they probably won't even remember waking during the night. It's also important to consider that many people will wake shortly before their alarm or shortly before they actually get out of bed. And this is important to consider too, because when you talk to people without insomnia about how well they sleep, they'll probably just think about what time they went to bed at night and what time they got out of bed in the morning and just tell you that they slept throughout that entire period. Because they don't really think about sleep, they haven't thought about how long it took them to fall asleep, any nighttime awakenings, or how long they spent in bed after they woke up before getting out of bed. Another common belief that we can have when we've been living with insomnia for a long period of time is that we should be feeling really good after we wake in the morning. And if we don't, then it's a sign that we didn't get a good night of sleep. Well, the problem with this assumption is that many people don't feel at their best when they wake first thing in the morning, even if they got a great night of sleep. Many of us can experience sleep inertia, which is just this morning grogginess. Many of us take some time to get going in the morning. And again, when we haven't experienced insomnia and we don't really think about sleep, we don't really pay much attention to this. We recognize that we're somewhat slow to get started in the morning and then think nothing else of it. But when we have insomnia, that slow start, that morning grogginess, we can just immediately jump to the conclusion that it's because we had a bad night of sleep. But that may not always be the case. So I just wanted to make this short video just to explain what normal sleep actually is, because it's so easy to believe that you should be falling asleep immediately upon getting into bed, not spending any time awake during the night, getting 8 hours of solid, uninterrupted sleep, jumping out of bed enthusiastically ready to start the day. Whereas this is not the case. Sleep involves periods of wakefulness. It takes time to fall asleep. We naturally will spend time awake during the night. And we all have an individual sleep requirement, which is very rarely as much as 8 hours. So I hope you found this short video helpful. If you did, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. I do try and share a few new sleep snippet videos each week. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, or suggestions for a future video, please leave a comment below, or you can email me directly. My email address is hello@insomniacoach.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'd like to leave you with this important reminder. You can sleep.